I'll go with the future. And I guess since when I started back in the 90s, people really didn't understand anything about, what was a website. Why should I have a website on my business card? Why should I put my website, on the front of my store? And this is back when I was living up in Flagstaff, Arizona, and about 290,000 people there. Majority of them college students, but there are a lot of thriving businesses. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I see that internet and online and websites is definitely the future for businesses, and that email and having a website and doing this internet marketing, SEO. We really didn't call it SEO back then. We just called it marketing. Was going to be the future, and even back then, I was trying all sorts of different little things. Like I was working with the USGS and trying to get all their mapping data for Flagstaff, Arizona, because I wanted to rebuild the town up in, gosh, I gotta say it, VRML. Back in those days, to 3D replicate the entire town with the structures, and I wanted to build a shopping experience, kind of like what you have in Second Life now, and what Google is doing now with Google Maps, and be able to walk in the store and buy from somebody and interact with the owner of a company. And of course, at that time, the technology just wasn't there, so that didn't get very far. But it was like I saw that and I wanted to do it, but just didn't have the proper tools or the funding to actually do it. That's one example. I built a search engine back in those days as well, and was able to crawl all of Northern Arizona University, and actually the crawler kind of went out of control and started crawling out to millions of web pages and started to organize all the data, but unfortunately my ISP came and said, you're crashing our servers left and right, and we need to stop your script. Hey, could have been a big search engine, who knows? It was a little bit too early. Learned from those failures though, and started to kind of dial myself back and say, okay, maybe I'm looking a little bit too far into the future, and start to kind of focus more on, okay, so let's start looking 2 years ahead instead of 4, 5, 6 years ahead. And that's when I, ended up starting up basically a web development and internet marketing company. Saw the need, saw that it was coming, and that there was going to have to be an educational process that goes behind that. So built that educational process and built the team for it, and then executed on it, and it went great. It went fantastic. Was able to help probably over 400 companies in the span of 2 years and get their presence online and start doing marketing. Everything from radio to TV to government. Really helped a lot of people out. And when we started steady demand, we started looking at it as G Plus is going to be definitely a dominant, basically key component to marketing, and it's like kind of like more like the semantic age of search. And so that's why we kind of embraced G Plus, about 2 years ago, and started looking at it and saying, okay, well, we feel that the problem is going to be is that companies are going to enter into kind of the do-it-yourself mode, and then they're going to be looking to companies to help manage their brand presence. This has happened before. This has happened with Facebook. It's happened with Twitter, and other platforms. So why not? It's probably going to happen with G+. And so, spending a lot of time, of course, educating companies. And now we're starting to see the fruits of that actually starting to come back. And, we're doing the same thing now with the Hangouts, the end-to-end Hangouts product. It's kind of, again, kind of looking a little bit forward, not too far forward, and bringing on the right people, the right talent, and exercising those abilities, and doing it without the fear of failure. We know we're going to fail. We know we're going to fail spectacularly at a couple things, but we're going to learn from those experiences and build something really awesome. And when the time is right, be properly positioned, basically.